Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for tuning in. If it's your first time being here, welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we're going to be reading a very interesting book. Very interesting. I was very captivated by the cover. Not to mention the synopsis. Oh, chef's kiss. Um, it was like the icing on the cake, I would say. So the book that we're going to be reading today is ta-da! The Wild Zone by Joy Fielding. This is going to be my very first time reading the book, so you're going to be hearing a lot of chuckles, a lot of laughs. I hope you guys enjoy it with me too. So without further ado, let's get into it. Chapter 1. This is how it starts, with a joke. So, a man walks into a bar. Jeff began already chuckling. He sees another man sitting there, nursing a drink and a glum expression. On the bar in front of him is a bottle of whiskey and a tiny little man, no more than a foot high, playing an equally tiny little piano. "What's going on?" the first man asks. "Have a drink," offers a second. The first man grabs the bottle and is about to pour himself a drink when suddenly there is a large puff of smoke and a genie emerges from the bottle. "Make a wish," the genie instructs him. "Anything you desire, you shall have." "That's easy," the man says. "I want 10 million bucks." The genie nods and disappears in another cloud of smoke. Instantly, the bar filled with millions and millions of loud quacking ducks. "What the hell? What the hell is this?" the man demands angrily. "Are you deaf? I said bucks, you idiot, not ducks." He looks imploringly at the man beside him. The man shrugs, nodding sadly towards a tiny piano playing on the bar. "What? You think I wish for a 12-inch pianist?" A slight pause, followed by an explosion of laughter, punctuated the joke's conclusion. The laughter neatly summing up the personalities of the three men relaxing at the crowded bar. Jeff, a 32-year-old, the oldest of the three, laughed the loudest. The laugh, like the man himself, was almost too big for the small room, dwarfing the loud rock music emanating from the old-fashioned jukebox near the near the front door and reverberating across the shiny black marble surface of the long bar, where it threatened to overturn delicate glasses and crack the large bottle-lined mirror behind it. His friend Tom's laugh was almost as loud, and although it lacked Jeff's resonance and easy command, it made up for these shortcomings for lasting longer and containing an assortment of decorated trills. "Good one," Tom managed to croak out when a succession of tiny snorts and chuckles. "That was a good one." The third man's laughter was more restrained, although no less genuine, his admiring smile stretching from the large, almost girlish pour of his lips into his large brown eyes. Will had heard the joke before, maybe 5 years ago, in fact, when he was still a nervous undergraduate at Princeton, but he would never tell that to Jeff. Besides, Jeff had told it better. His brother did it most things better than other people. Will was thinking as he signaled Kristen from another round of drinks. Kristen smiled and tossed her long, straight blonde hair from one shoulder to the other, the way he noted and the sun-kissed women of South Beach always seemed to be doing. Will wondered idly if this habit was particular to Miami or endemic to southern climes in general. He didn't remember the young women of New Jersey tossing their hair with such frequency and authority, but then maybe he'd just been too busy or too shy to notice. Will watched as Kristen poured Miller Draft into three tall glasses and expertly slid them in single file along the bar's smooth surface, bending forward just enough to let the other men gather around, having a quick peek down her v-neck leopard print blouse. My bad, I'm sorry. They always tip more when you gave them a flash of flesh, she confided the other night, claiming to make as much as $300 a night in tips. Not bad for a bar as small as the Wild Zone, which comfortably seated only 40 people and had room for maybe another 30 at the always busy bar. You've entered the Wild Zone. An orange neon sign flashed provocatively above the mirror. Proceed at your own risk. The bar owner had seen a similar sign along the side of a Florida highway and decided the Wild Zone would be the perfect name for the upscale bar he was planning to open at Ocean Drive. His instincts had proved correct. The Wild Zone had opened its heavy steel doors in October, just in time for Miami's busy winter season, and it was still going strong 8 months later, despite the oppressive heat and the departure of most tourists. Will loved the name, with its accompanying echoes of danger and irresponsibility. It made him feel vaguely reckless just being there. He smiled at his brother silently, thanking him for letting him tag along. If Jeff saw his brother smile, he didn't acknowledge it. Instead, he reached behind him and grabbed his fresh beer. So, what would you clowns wish for if a genie offered to grant you one wish? And it can't be anything sucky, like world peace or an end to danger, he added. It has to be personal, selfish, like wishing for a 12-inch penis, Tom said, louder than Will thought necessary. Several of the men standing in their immediate vicinity swiveled in their direction, although they pretended not to be listening. Already got one of those, Jeff said, ooh, downing half his beer in one long gulp and smiling at a redhead at the far end of the bar. It's true, Tom acknowledged with a laugh. I've seen him in the shower. I might ask for a few extra inches for you, though, Jeff said. And Tom laughed again, although not quite so loud. How about you, little brother? You in need of any magical intervention? I'm doing just fine, thank you. Despite the frigid air conditioning, Will was beginning to sweat beneath his blue down shirt, and he focused on the large green neon alligator on the far brick wall to keep from blushing. Ah, I'm not embarrassing you, am I? I'm not embarrassing you, am I? Jeff teased. Shit, man, the kid's got a PhD in philosophy from Harvard, and he blushes like a little girl. It's Princeton, Will corrected, and I still haven't finished my dissertation. He felt the blush creep from his cheeks towards his forehead, and he was glad the room was as dimly lit as it was. I should have finished the stupid dissertation by now, he was thinking. Knock it off, Jeff, Princeton advised him from behind the bar. Don't pay attention to him, Will. He's just always being his usual obnoxious self. You trying to tell me that size don't matter, Jeff? You're trying to tell me that size doesn't matter? Jeff asked. I'm telling you that penises are way overrated, Kristen answered. A nearby woman laughed. Ain't that the truth? She said into her glass. Well, you ought to know, Jeff said to Kristen. Hey, Will, did I tell you about the time Kristen and I had a three-way? Will looked away, his eyes skirting the dark oak plants of the floor and sweeping across the far wall without focusing, eventually settling on a large color photograph on a lion attacking a gazelle. Is it gazelle? I think. Okay. Or gazelle. I'm just gonna have to pronounce it how I can. He never been comfortable with the sort of sex-charged banter Jeff and his friends seemed to excel at. He had to try harder to fit in, he decided. He had to relax. Wasn't that the reason he come to South Beach in the first place? To get away from the stretch of academic life, to get out in the real world, to reconnect with the older brother he hadn't seen in years? Don't think you ever mentioned it, he said, forcing a laugh from his throat and wishing he didn't feel as titillated as he did. She was a real looker, wasn't she, Chrissy? Jeff asked. Wasn't her name, what was her name again? Do you remember? I think it was Heather, Kristen answered easily, hands on the side of her short, tight black shirt. If she was embarrassed, she gave no sign of it. You ready for another beer? I'll take whatever you're willing to dish out. Kristen smiled, a knowingly little half grin that played with the corners of her bow shaped mouth, and tossed her hair from her right shoulder to her left. Another round of Miller draft coming right up. That's my girl. Once again, Jeff's muscular laugh filled the room. A younger woman pushed her way through the men and women standing three deep at the bar. She was in her late 20s, of average height, a little on the thin side, with shoulder-length dark hair that fell across her face, making it difficult to discern her features. She wore black pants and an expensive-looking white shirt. Will thought it was possibly or probably silk. Can I get a pomegranate martini? Coming right up, Christine said. Take your time. The young woman tucked a strand of hair behind her left ear, revealing a delicate pearl earring and a profile that was soft and pleasing. I'm sitting over there, she pointed towards an empty table on the corner, underneath a watercolor of a herd of charging elephants. What the hell is a pomegranate martini? Tom asked. Sounds revolting, Jeff said. They're actually quite good. Kristen removed Jeff's empty beer glass and replaced it with a full one. That's so? Okay then. Let's give it a try, Emma tried. Jeff made a circle in the air with his fingers, indicating his request, including Tom and Will. $10 each to whoever finishes his pomegranate martini first. No gagging allowed. You're on, Tom agreed quickly. You're crazy, Will said. In response, Jeff slapped a $10 bill on the bar. It was joined seconds later by a matching one from Tom. Both men turned expectantly towards Will. Fine, he said, reaching into the side pocket of his gray slacks and extracting a couple of fives. Kristen watched them out of the corner of her eyes as she carried the pomegranate martini to the woman